All right, here's a few questions that refer to polynomials and finding zeros and x-intercepts and other things. This first question says, use long division to determine whether the following is a factor of f of x. So here's our function, and I want to know whether this is a factor of that. I can determine that by dividing this into that, and if the remainder comes out to 0, then I know it's a factor. If the remainder is not equal to 0, then whatever thing over here is not a factor. Okay, so long division. So I'm just going to write the polynomial over. X squared plus 24x minus 20. And I'll put my little dividing line. And I put an x plus 1 here. Okay, so now this is where it sort of gets a little tricky. What I want to do is divide this into this. So really I'm going x to the fourth divided by x. Okay, the answer to that is x cubed. And you can put your x cubed anywhere up top. It sort of makes sense to put it over top of the x cubed, but you could put it on top of the x to the fourth too. I'll just put the x cubed here. Okay, so now I have to multiply x cubed by that. And really what I'm saying is what is x cubed times x plus 1? So x cubed times x is x to the fourth. X cubed times 1 would be a positive 1x cubed. Okay, now I subtract. I always like to put a subtract out here. You can put a bracket around it, or I usually put a circle, just so I remember that I'm subtracting. X to the fourth minus x to the fourth is nothing. Negative 6, take away 1 is negative 7x cubed. Careful with that. What I was doing there was just minus 6x cubed minus a positive 1x cubed. And if you subtract those, you get negative 7. Okay, now you just do the same thing over and over and over. But this time, I'll use blue this time, I'm dividing, oh, I forgot to do something. Once I've subtracted that, then I have to bring down the next number. Okay, so now I'm going to divide this x again into 7x cubed. So really I'm going negative 7x cubed divided by x. So that's going to be a negative 7x squared, and I'll write that up top here. Negative 7x squared. Multiply, so it'll be negative 7x cubed minus 7x squared. Again, subtract. I'll put a subtract out here. Minus 7 minus a negative, those cancel. 1x squared minus a negative 7 will give me an 8x squared. Okay, feeling good. Now let's bring down the next number. So positive 24x. Make sure you bring down whatever sign is there beside it. Now I divide 8x squared by x. That'll be a positive 8x. 8x times x is 8x squared. 8x times 1 is a positive 8x. Subtract. The first one, you get nothing. 24 take away 8 would be 16x. And then bring down the next number. So that'll be a minus 20. So x into 16x will be a positive 16. Let's use another color. Positive 16. 16 times x is 16x. 16 times 1 is a positive 16. Okay, and now subtract. Let me move this up a little bit. So 16 minus 16 is nothing. Negative 20 minus that is a negative 36. And this, since I have no more numbers or terms to bring down, they're done. This will be my remainder. And since the remainder is not equal to 0, I would say, therefore, x plus 1 is not a factor. Another thing you could say from that also is negative 1 is not an x-intercept or a 0. Okay, and then you just do the same thing with the other ones. Here's another question. It says in each of the following polynomials, a polynomial, so here's my polynomial, and a divisor, there's my divisor, are given. Use long division to find the quotient and the remainder, and then express your answer like that. Okay, so I'm going to use long division. So I have x to the fourth. Now this one doesn't have an x cubed term in it, so I need to add that. So 0x cubed minus 2x squared. Oh, there's no x term either. So plus 0x plus 3. And now I have to divide that by x plus 2. Okay, doing the same thing as we just did. X into x cubed goes x cubed, or x to the fourth goes x cubed. Multiply x to the fourth plus 2x cubed. Subtract nothing. This will be a negative 2x cubed. Bring down the next number, negative 2x squared. X into 2x cubed goes a negative 2x squared times. Multiply, that'll be negative 2x cubed minus 4x squared. Okay, subtract, careful. Minus 2 minus a negative 2 is minus 2 plus 2, so they cancel. So this one's 0, which I knew. And then I have minus 2x squared minus a negative 4x squared. So these cancel, so it'll be positive. So this would be a positive 2x squared. Bring down the next number, plus 0x. X into 2x squared goes 2x times. 2x times that will be 2x squared plus 4x. Subtract. 0 take away 4 will be a negative 4x. Bring down the next number, plus 3. X into negative 4x goes negative 4 times. Multiply would be negative 4x minus 8. Subtract again, that'll be 0. 3 take away negative 8 will be 11. So then they say to write it in this form here. So the divisor, that would be x plus 2, times the quotient, that's this thing up here, x cubed minus 2x squared plus 2x minus 4, plus the remainder is 11. And I think they actually write it as 11 over x plus 2. I typically don't put a plus there, I just say remainder is 11. But you could write 11, I think it's over x plus 2, whatever your divisor is. Okay, there's that one. And number 10, you would do the same thing. Notice that this one doesn't have an x squared, so you'd have to write 0x squared plus 0x plus 0. So you'd have to use all of those when you're dividing. Okay, next question says use synthetic division to find the function values and check your work with a graphing calculator. Okay, do that. So synthetic division. I'm given a polynomial that's missing a bunch of terms in there. So I'll write 1x to the fourth, 0x cubed, 0x squared, 0x minus 16. And now they want me to use synthetic division to figure out what the function value is. So I'll plug in a 2, bring down the 1. 1 times 2 is 2, add 2. 2 times 2 is 4, add 4. 4 times 2 is 8, add 8. 8 times 2 is 16, add 0. Good. So the function value of f of 2 is 0. Now another thing you could have done is just to do f of 2, you could have put a 2 in, this 2 here, everywhere you see an x, minus 16. So 2 to the fourth is 16. 16 minus 16 gives you 0. So the function value is 0. So that gives us a point on the graph. Now we can do some of the other ones. You can do the negative 2 and 3. Let me try that one. That one looks a little nasty. So I'll put a 1, 0, 0, 0, minus 16. And out front here, I'm putting 1 minus root 2. Ouch. Bring down the 1. 1 times this will be 1 minus root 2. Add, that'll just be 1 minus root 2. Then multiply this by this. I'll do that on the side. 1 minus root 2 times 1 minus root 2. So it'll be 1 minus 2 root 2 plus root of 4, which is just 2. Oh, and 1 plus 2 is 3, so it'd be 3 minus 2 root 2. Okay, so that goes right here. 3 minus 2 root 2. Add, so it'll be 3 minus 2 root 2 again. Now multiply, so this time I'm multiplying 1 minus root 2 times 3 minus 2 root 2. You get the idea? And you just keep doing that. And typically they always cancel down just to a binomial. But that's sort of the game that you want to play with that question. Okay, hopefully that helps you out.